welcome back to the Auburn Sportsplex. Here now for Game 2 action between the kicking Astros and the sexy softball Stripers, here with Jared Gornto to lead things off. I'm Nick Kowalski alongside my partner. Why don't you introduce yourself, because you were just on the first broadcast, and how did that one go if you had to summarize that? As this ball hit down the left field line, and it's going to be a fair ball as it drops down the left field line. Gornto sprinting into third, and he'll have a stand-up triple to start things off.
Well, to continue your statement right before that triple was hit, my name is Noah Phillips, and I was on the small fraternity Intramural championships where Delta Chi dominated Phi Sigma Kappa 17-7. But it's a new game. Excuse me.
All right, so now we got Cooper Marks, a junior out of Denver, Colorado, wearing the number 3. If you're just joining us, for those who don't know any of these rules, it starts with a 1-1 count as always, and we'll fill in as more information comes, as a line drive will be hit to center field, and Gornto will score off the single from Cooper Marks. Up next is Caleb Hubert, a former member of the Auburn club baseball team, so we expect big things out from him. Anything less than that, I think we're going to have a little fun on this broadcast today.
We will, like we did in the last broadcast.
Huber lifts one to deep center field, drifting back and making the play as the center fielder there for the second out of the inning. Or first out of the inning, I should say. Here between the sexy softball Stripers, you're going to have to correct me on that possibly a couple times this afternoon, and the kicking Astros. Currently at the plate are the Stripers, and now number 10, who rips one to center field, and a nice diving catch to put away for the second out. We're still trying to see numbers around who's playing where. I think that was number 22, J.C. Grote.
That's the type of effort you expect in a championship game. Laying it out all on the line to get that second out in the top of the first.
A little bit higher than the small fraternity talent that we saw earlier this game. Now up to bat is Jacob Carson, a fourth-year sophomore, as it says, as the ball is ripped down to the shortstop and through for a single, going to third, and in safely is Cooper Marks. So runners on second and third now coming to the dish. Well, it doesn't have a number. I think that's Hunter Yarbrough.
It's got to be like a 9 or something. I can't really tell either.
It's pretty faded out. You can tell the financials put into these jerseys is what it is. 1-0's your score. The Stripers take the lead. A high fly ball. If it stays fair, it's gone. Or it stays fair and it just hits the top of the fence. So that's going to be a triple, almost a stand-up triple. Loses his footing on the bag there was Yarbrough. And now it's going to be a 3-0 ball game here in the top of the first inning.
And that is something I expected out of all these games. Obviously, in the first game, there was 24 runs scored. I think there's going to be perhaps even more runs scored in this one.
Luke Nolan now at the dish. He'll take ball 2, I should say, since it starts at a 1-1 count. 0-2, Nolan rips it to the left side, past the shortstop, and that's going to score another one for the sexy softball Stripers. I just love saying that. Any chance I get.
I can tell you like saying it.
So 2 outs here. There's a PO up to bat. Scott Jacobs, he's on another member of the Auburn club baseball team. Pitched 4 innings this past week and is going to line one up the middle for a base hit. Coming home, rounding third is Luke Nolan. He'll score the 5th run of the game here for the Stripers.
Well, for the kicking Astros, obviously you don't want them to score this many runs in the first inning. They're going to start running away with it unless you put your foot down right here.
Number 1. Oh, heck, I don't even have him on my roster. That's going to be a ground ball to the first base side, and that will retire the top half of this first inning. 5-0 is your score. The sexy softball Stripers up over the kicking Astros. The Astros are coming up to bat after this. As we are back here at the Auburn Sports Complex, now for the kicking Astros turn up to bat here in the bottom half of the first inning. Up to bat the leadoff hitter, Sam D'Antoni. He'll rip one down the left side and into left field for a base hit, wide turnaround first base. And the Astros have a man on first with no outs.
Almost every hit that we've seen so far, even in the small fraternity game, that weren't errors, is anything hit through the middle or just something that's absolutely made out to go wrong.
Robbie Graham will hit one to the right side. A play cannot be made by the second baseman. Almost a runner interference there, but there will be going to be runners on first and second now for the three-hole hitter, senior from Fort Payne, Alabama, J.C. Grove.
You see that a lot in these infielders. They like to pull their heads out when they're trying to receive a ground ball, something you just cannot do.
So no outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Stripers have a 5-0 lead here in the Men's Independent League. That's going to be a fly ball lifted deep center field. Jared Gornto going back on it. It's going to play a one-hop off the wall, getting it in. One run's going to score, and 2 runs will score on that double off the wall by Grote. So the score now 5-2 with no outs.
These teams have combined what Phi Sigma Kappa scored in the entirety of the last game.
Carson Hirschler now at the dish. Will take ball 1. Rip to shortstop. Play's going to be at first in time. Jacobsy will receive. And that's the first out of the bottom half of this first inning.
That was a great play by the shortstop there. It kind of took a weird hop. Almost magical that he caught that in there and got it first the way he did.
Almost magical. Suit for those sexy softball stripers, as that one's going to go off the glove of the pitcher and not in time at first base. Another run will score.
I'll give it to the pitcher there. I'm not catching that one. I'm certainly
Just
not staying. I'm certainly not staying in the way of that one.
Up to bat now is going to be the 6-hole hitter, Lawson Scarborough. The man on first base is going to lift that one to right field. Out is Nolan. He'll make the play for the second out of the inning. So I feel like at this level of play, anything less than 2 runs an inning is a successful inning with the quality of these hitters coming to the plate now.
It is. It definitely is.
Miles Tate at the dish. Batting with 2 outs is going to lift that one to center, and that'll drop in front of Gornto. He'll look to pump to third, and no throw will be made as the runners hold at first and second. Now the lefty, Brock Hunter, at the dish for the kicking Astros. Down by 2. A long ball can tie the game. 2-1 count. That's going to run to 3-1.
That's something this pitcher has not done that frequently this game so far. Those 2 first balls is not something he's done.
That's going to be a strike called, running it full. The delivery, that one's going to be whacked up the middle, handled by the second baseman. The flip to second, not in time. Bases will be loaded.
That's a great play by the second baseman to even field that one. Went off the pitcher's glove. That's an unseeable ball.
The kicking Astros within striking distance here of the sexy softball stripers who are currently in the field. The spinner right back to the mound. The play will be at second, and that will end the top half, or the bottom of the first inning. We're headed to the top of the second with the Stripers 5 and the Astros 3. Well, we're back here in the top half of the second inning. Now back up to the dish here for the sexy softball stripers. is number 12, Noah Upshaw. They're still making the way through the order, and he's the pitcher. He's going to line out to the shortstop for the first out of the inning.
It's a great play by the shortstop right there. Barely saw that one coming off the plate. He was able to take it and easily catch it.
now number 100, Calvin Pearson, I should say, is going to take low and outside for ball 2. It's going to be a 2-1 count. The delivery, that's going to be whacked up the middle for a base hit.
Now, you can't laugh too hard at the number 100. We had a number 206 in the small fraternity game.
I mean, you also get names like Sexy Softball Stripers here. So, I mean, nothing's really too far gone as the leadoff man and Jared Gornto is back up to the dish. He's going to take ball 1 high and over his head. Still await the 2-1. Gornto lines it up the middle. That's going to be another base hit for the Stripers. Here with 1 out.
A lot of these singles are coming just by putting it barely past an infield position player.
So number 23, Cooper Marks, a junior, up to the dish. We'll await the 1-1. That's going to be a low ball 2. Marks hits that one to the shortstop. Play is going to be at third. And they're going to get the force out, and that's all they'll get for the second out of the top half of the second inning between the Stripers and the Astros.
That's just not having your head in the game. You see a ball on the ground when you know there's somebody behind you at first, you've got to run.
They have Gornto at second. Huber at the dish. We'll take high for ball 2. 2-1 count to Caleb Huber. A ground ball to the left side. That's going to be snared by the third baseman. The peg over to first is in time for the third out of the inning, and the Stripers get blanked here in the top half of the inning. We're headed to the bottom. So we're at the bottom of the order here for the kicking Astros as they're back at the dish. That's going to be lined up the middle. Nice Jeter play. Jacobs, he can't handle it at first base. And Drew Traylor will leg out a single.
I almost would have gave him the out right there. You do a Jeter at this level of play?
At this level, you mean college intramural softball? Yeah, I'd say so. Here in the bottom of the second inning. The last man in the order here for the Astros is Colton Bell-Snyder. Before we reach back to the top for D'Antoni waiting on deck. The 2-1's going to be lifted high and deep to left field, drifting back on it and making the play for the first out of the inning.
There's something you don't see every day. We have a tag up from first base.
Well, it was deep enough.
It was more than deep enough.
So 1 out with a runner on second. Here for the top of the order, Sam D'Antoni. He's going to rip that one to the shortstop. Nice play made. Peg over to first for Jacobsy. Jacobsy's going to throw to third and get his man for the third out of the inning. And just like that, in about 62 seconds, the second inning is over. We're headed to the top half after this. As we're back in one of the quickest innings that I've ever seen on an intramural softball field. Now for number 10 in the top of the order, the 3-hole hitter, is going to ground out to the pitcher for the first out of the inning.
Let's see if I can count out the number of pitches on one hand this inning. That's one.
Jacob Carson now will be up to the dish. Carson, I forgot what he did in his first time up because I didn't write it down. But I'm sure he did something good. 5-3 is your score. He's going to lift that one deep to center field, drifting back on it at the wall, making the play at the warning track for the second out as the center fielder.
That is 2 pitches so far.
I think you're onto something here.
I think I am. I think I'm going to talk it into existence.
I remember this one without a number. Of course, I heard Hunter, so we're going to go with that. That's going to be a 2-1 count. And I believe, actually, I'm starting to see it with the light going down. Is that 20?
Could be.
Could be.
It might be 30.
Count. It might be 30. I agree. Well, the 3-1. Line back up the middle for a base hit.
Well, my pitch count thing is over with. I think 5 pitches.
You're at 5 now.
5.
Luke Nolan stepping to the dish. Nice, healthy practice swing.
Got some really nice New Balance cleats.
Nolan will await that 1-1 and watch it go by for a ball. The 2-1. Called for a strike. There's one thing you don't want to do, it's strike out here in slow pitch softball. Instead, he pops it up over to the left side of the third baseman. Will make the play for the third out of the inning, and that's just another quick near 1-2-3 put out. And we are headed to the bottom half of the third inning, I believe. 5-3 is your score. Well, so far we've seen 3 scoreless half innings of play after the 8-run first inning that we saw. Currently 5-3 is your score between the Stripers and the kicking Astros. So far, pitching has gotten settled in nicely. They're putting the balls in play, no strikeouts for either side. But I'll tell you what, number 12's got to be proud on that mound out there after another scoreless half inning from him.
He needs to take his chain off. Nice silver chain.
Anything that gets into the mind of a pitcher, you know.
It does.
Well, we'll see if that makes a difference. That was Noah Upshaw who's on the bump. That one's going to be lifted to the second baseman for the first out of the inning.
Lose your chain, lose your confidence. I don't think he's going to have that here today.
I don't believe so. Now the 3-hole hitter in J.C. Grote, senior from Fort Payne. The righty will step in looking to do some damage. That's going to be high for ball 2. 2-1 count. Interesting rules here. Strike zone is from chest to knee height. That's going to be ball 3.
Another reason you don't really want to fall ahead in any counts is if
count runs full.
As I was saying, you get 2 strikes on you, hit a foul ball, you are out in this league.
That's going to be ripped to center field. Gornto going back on it. That one's going to one-hop the fence, and that's going to be a double. No, going for 3, sliding in, hitting his back. There was Grote, so he'll post in with a triple here with 1 out. Kicking Astros looking to get the scoring back up on their side of things.
That hop off the fence was nearly at the very top. We could have been looking at a ground rule double right there.
Carson Hirschler at the dish with 1 out and the man on third. That one's going to be lifted down the left field line. Is it gone? It will not be gone, but it will hit off the fence. And in for a double there is Hirschler, and another run will score. So now the score is kicking Astros 4, Sexy Softball Stripers 5. Starting with a 1-1 count for Will Solomon. Solomon rips it down the third base line. Huber couldn't handle it. Coming around to score the game-tying run, there was Hirschler, as Will Solomon will coast into second base.
You see it again, trying to field a ground ball, pulling your head out. You can't do it at this level of play. At this level of play.
Can't do it at this level. Lawson Scarborough. I'll watch strike two. Quickly 1-2. Delivery from Upshaw. Going to be lifted to left field. And that looks like that'll be the second out of the inning. Tagging from second base and coasting into third. There was Solomon.
And these fences are so far back. If you put anything near the fence, anybody could tag up from anywhere, no matter what.
About with how short the base path is. At the dish is Miles Tate. Upshaw in some trouble right now, looking to get out of a jam. He's limited to 6 to 12-foot arcing pitches, but he'll get the third out, and that will end the third inning of play. We're all tied up heading into the fourth between the Kicking Astros and the Sexy Softball Stripers. As we approach the top half of the fourth inning, the PO is back up at the dish. That's Scott Jacobsy. Had a single up the middle in the second inning. He'll wait, the 1-1's going to line that one to center field. Will it get down? Yes, it will. Jacobsy is going to coast into 2, going for 3. Scotty Jacobsy, look at him go. That's going to be an inside the Parker for the PO, baby. So that's going to be 6-5 your score.
Would like to say that when that ball went down, I already had my keypad ready to change it to 6 on that one right there.
So now, number 1 at the dish. These lineups are just terrible. I just can't even read where that is. Let's see. I'm going to go with Logan Ropp. It's going to be a foul ball.
He gets another.
That batter's out.
It will be. That was 2 strikes, foul ball, and you're out.
They got it, Maggie.
Strikeout in intramural softball.
So now we got the pitcher at the dish of this game, Noah Upshaw, senior from Fairhope. We'll ground that one to third. The peg over to first in time for the second out of the inning. So the Stripers able to put 1 home here, and now batting is the man wearing number 100, Calvin Pearson.
You think that's his batting average? You think that's why he wears 100?
Well, we'll see here. Based off that swing, I'd say so. 1-2 count. Lifted to shallow right, drifting in on the right fielder, and he'll make the play for the third out of the inning. I'd say we're correct in our assumptions, but the Stripers pick up a run here as we're headed to the bottom half of the fourth inning. One 1 count here with no outs in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Sexy Softball Stripers in the field. Kicking Astros at the plate. Down by 1. And it looks like there's a discrepancy of order here. Batting order, that is, for the kicking Astros.
Obviously, being down 1 at this type of event will make you do things like change your order midway through the game.
I guess.
Try to get an edge any way you can.
00 is up, not 21.
So I'm not sure if that's an automatic out or not. So they managed to get all the way through the first lineup without a discrepancy. And so currently it's Zach Powell at the dish, and it should be Brock Huner. So we're just trying to figure out whether that's going to be an out or whether he just gets to redo it and start the top half of the inning with Brock Huner at the dish instead. So Brock Huner should be batting, I believe, 8th, and then Zach Powell batting 9th. And I believe the inning ended with Miles Tate, so that would leave Huner to lead off the bottom half of this 4th inning. So no out is awarded, no harm, no foul. And I guess we'll redo this 1-1 pitch.
Indeed. Nothing wrong with that.
So Brock Huner will take strike 2. Upshaw the delivery. Bouncer back to the pitcher, can't make the play. And there's going to be a runner at first base here now for Zach Powell, who originally led off this inning.
Pitcher right there just got out in front of himself, couldn't stay down through the ball. No out is given.
Upshaw, the 1-1. We'll get the call. 1-2. Powell awaits, is going to pop that one up to the shortstop for the first out. So 1 out here with a man on first base. And now at the dish is senior Drew Traylor.
Does appear to have some tape on his elbow.
He does. That is an interesting spot to put it. And he'll line a base hit to left field. And runners will move up just 1. Currently down by 1 are the Astros.
With a runner on second, all you need is a hit to get through, and you got 1 across.
Now at the very bottom of the lineup here is Colton Bell-Snyder. 2-1 count for Bell-Snyder. Upshaw the delivery. We'll get the call. 2-2. Bell-Snyder rips one to left field. That's going to be up against the wall. And that's going to... I thought that Park might hold it, but instead the backspin just carries it out, and that's going to be a 3-run shot for the 11-hole hitter, Colton Bell-Snyder. And the Astros now take the lead 8-6.
We haven't seen a home run yet tonight. I thought that one was going to stay in too.
Yeah.
I didn't have any reference material until now. That fence is so high out there, I don't think anything can get out. Big props to him.
So a whole new ball game now at the top of the order. Sam D'Antoni here for the kicking Astros. And it's going to be a 2-1 count now. Delivery. That's going to catch the top of the zone for strike 2. That one's going to be ripped to center field. Gornto there will make the play. And that'll be the second out in the bottom half of this inning. Currently in the 4th, we played to 7. I don't think a run rule is going to be in order anytime soon with these two teams.
That was the story of the first game, not this one.
Robbie Graham now at the dish here for the Astros, spelled A-S-S-T-R-O-S. Going to take that one the other way. The shortstop will have it. The peg over to first. Scotty H. will make the play in time, and that will retire the side. We're headed to the top of the 5th inning with the Stripers down by 2. Jared Gornto now here in the top of this fifth inning, where the Stripers are down by 2. He's going to line that one to the right side for a base hit. Gornto looking to go to second. He's going to slam on the brakes and head all the way back to first, diving all the way back, as Jared will get a single.
Well, he kind of fell on that one. Since this being a turf field, I think the turf monster got him. Something you don't want to see. He could have got 2 right there, I think.
I think he's wearing cleats, too. But still, you never know.
You got to look coordinated to be coordinated. That's not look coordinated.
Yeah, sure. The number 23, Cooper Marks at the dish. I believe Marks is 1 for 2. Now his third time up is going to line that one to right center, and making the play is the right center fielder, because you have 4 outfielders in this softball league. With 1 out, Gornto standing on first base. Stripers down by 2. And at the dish is Caleb Huber.
We're just going back and forth.
Part of this lineup earns best hair in the league, and that one's going to be tailing foul. Instead, actually making the play. I thought that was going to be heading out, but from this angle, it looks to be otherwise now for the second out. So now it's going to be fourth-year sophomore Jacob Carson stepping to the dish. We'll await the 1-1. That one's going to be ball. 2-1 count. Couldn't catch the corner. High fly ball. Not sure if it has the distance at the warning track. Back up against the wall. It's a home run. Jacob Carson ties the game at 8.
These balls that have been home runs did not look like home runs leaving the bat. Kudos to both of these guys that have hit home runs in this game. That's something very hard to do at this field, the fence being the way that it is.
I mean, that was just a towering shot. The other one was more of a line drive kind of deal. I thought that might have been one that scrapes the fence, but in this case, we're all tied up. It's a whole new ball game as this one's lifted to right center field. Could be trouble. Drifting over is the center fielder. This might be an inside the Parker. Rounding third, heading for home, and the Stripers take the lead on the inside the park home run. I believe that's James Tower.
You can see the center fielder dive for that one. He knew when that wasn't in his mitt when he got up that one was going to be a run for the Stripers.
Hunter Yarbrough now at the dish. And all these runs have come with 2 outs. So 3 runs here in the bottom half of this fifth inning. Or top half of the fifth inning, I should say. It'll be a 2-2 count here for Yarbrough. Stripers looking for more base runners. That's going to be lifted to deep center field. And the center fielder gets burned. Going into second now, headed for third. There is Yarbrough. He'll stand up for a triple.
We talked about them having 4 outfielders. If you have just one center fielder, I think he makes that grab right there.
Partially so, because you're playing in the gaps, the right center and left center gap, and that was hit just about to straight away. Luke Nolan at the dish here for the Stripers. We'll await the 1-1. That's going to be called for strike 2. Lined up the middle for a base hit, and that's going to score 1 more. The Stripers are in double digits up against this kicking Astros team. Playing for that all-coveted Intramural Championship t-shirt. What a moment for these athlete students. Scott Jacobsy at the dish. Had an inside to Parker his last time up. Also had a single back in the second inning. Jacobsy with a 2-1 count. And rips that one up the middle. He's 3 for 3 on the day. Going to third is Nolan. And then there's going to be runners on the corner.
Well, turn your hat around. We got ourselves a 2-out rally.
You need the front-facing camera for that one really to make sense. But
Just know, folks at home, that I'm wearing a hat.
oh boy. Ball number 2 to Logan Romp, junior out of Vestavia. Runners at the corner. That's going to be ripped to right field, and that's going to be a diving play, somehow making the catch there for the kicking Astros. That was impressive.
It was impressive. Something you always want to see. Highest level of competition, highest level of effort.
We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Stripers 10, Astros 8. J.C. Grote now back at the dish. You know he means business because he's got batting gloves here for the kicking Astros. Delivery coming from Upshaw. That'll be low for ball 2.
Not only does he have batting gloves, he has the arm sleeve and a leg sleeve.
Down on his right and left arm and the backwards hat, but you put yours back forward.
I did. It's not a 2-out rally anymore.
Bottom of the 5th inning. That's going to be an infield pop-up. Who's going to call it? It will be the second baseman making the play for out number 1. 10-8 is your score currently with the kicking Astros down by 2 and at the plate.
Still putting his batting gloves on.
Carson Hirschler now at the dish. We'll wait the 1-1. That'll be inside for ball 2. Ball 3. Noah Upshaw looking to try and find the zone. He will. That's going to be a ground ball to second base. Efficiency is what you're looking for. The peg over to Jacobsy in time for out number 2.
That's the correct word right there, efficient. Saw it into his glove and got it over to first baseman. Simple as making pie.
You ever made pie?
No, I haven't, but
it's not easy.
I thought it was. My bad.
Nice play, and he gets no, he doesn't. Jacobsy was called off the bag. I don't agree with that call.
I mean, he jetered it again.
He jetered it again from second base, and the first base umpire calls him safe because Jacobsy was off the bag. I mean, that's just, oh.
You got to make an exception. You got to give it to him.
The umpires are getting paid. Off. Lawson Scarborough is going to lift that one to deep center field. Gornto will camp under it. He'll make the play for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Stripers go unscathed in the bottom half of the 5th. We're headed to the top of the 6th with kicking Astros down 2. Senior pitcher Noah Upshaw now at the dish here for the Stripers, kicking Astros in the field. On the bumper, shall I say, the rubber, is Robbie Graham out for his 6th inning of work. That's going to be popped up to the infield. Upshaw not happy about that one, and the second baseman will make the play for out number 1. Now we're at the bottom of the order with number 100, Calvin Pearson.
Kicking Astros are only left with 5 outs to overcome this 2-run deficit. They might become a little bit greedy right here, try to go for something that's not there.
Pounder to the right side. That should be an easy play. And in time to get the speedy Pearson for the second out of the inning. How we got here, Striper scored 5 in the first, 1 in the fourth, and 4 in the fifth. The Astros scored 3 in the first and 5 in the fourth inning, with the score currently 10-8 in favor of the sexy softball Stripers. Haven't said that for a couple innings.
Almost a tongue twister.
Well, you want to say strippers, but you know that's just not right. As Gornto will line out for the third out of the inning, his perfect night ends in the sixth. We're headed to the bottom half of the inning, with the Stripers up by 2.
There we go.
Kicking Astros have 6 outs left to score 2 runs. At the dish now is the 7-hole hitter, Miles Tate. Tate will await the 2-1. That's going to be bounced back to the pitcher. Upshaw will make the toss over to Jacobsy for the first out of the inning. And if you're the sexy softball Stripers, you're starting to smell those nice orange t-shirts fresh out of the box. The biggest reward for these athlete students here at the Auburn Sports Complex. That's going to be a foul ball. Making the play is a fan. A nice job there.
That is a great catch by him.
Brock Huner at the dish.
Love to see the fans getting the ball. We got a heck of a crowd here tonight, too.
Mostly made up of the teams waiting to play. Bouncer back to the pitcher. The peg over to first in time for the second out. Been a nice easy inning for Noah Upshaw. Here with 2 outs, the kicking Astros at the dish. Now for Zach Powell. Powell, the lefty. The only lefty we've seen today. That's going to be in foul territory. Staying in play. Jacobsy over will make the catch for the third out of the inning. As the sexy softball Stripers will come back up to try and add some insurance as we head to the 7th. And just barely enough time to take a sip of water. We're back here to start the top half of the 7th inning. And leading things off is number 23, Cooper Marks. I believe the 3-hole hitter. Here for the sexy Stripers. Lift that one to shallow center field. Coming in on it could be a tough play. And it hangs up in the air long enough for the first out of the inning.
It was a tough play, but he made it look elementary out there.
Caleb Huber looks to redeem himself after popping out to the left side back in the 5th inning. At the dish here for the Stripers. Kicking Astros send out Robbie Graham to close out the game here, potentially. And that's going to be ripped down the left field line and making another diving catch. No, that's going to touch the artificial turf. Huber will go in standing into second base for a double.
And that's got to be painful. As he went up, he kind of threw it like he just let go of it. The umpires are going to talk this one out.
I mean, it was a heck of a play.
Yeah, either way, it's a ton of effort.
Because you can't see it on the camera. He was ranging to his right, makes a diving play, face first, without any pants on, really, and just a short-sleeve shirt, just taking all the turf burn you could possibly imagine. And the umpires are convening about this one, trying to decide if he made the catch or not. Man, they are taking a long time. This takes longer than between-inning breaks.
They are. They're going to have to. They might have to consult the replay booth.
I mean, they literally have 3 pairs of eyes on this, trying to determine whether he made the catch or not.
A little bit of an update for you.
And they're going to reverse the call. The batter will be called out. Huber will potentially end his night 2 for 4. And now coming to the dish, a home run hitter. Number 10, Jacob Carson. Carson, who had that high towering shot a couple innings back to center field. Looks to do the same with 2 outs here. Instead, he'll pop it up to the right side with 2 outs. And making the play is the right fielder. To end the top half of the 7th inning, the Astros have 3 outs to score at least 2 runs, or the Stripers will have themselves an intramural championship, and most importantly, that nice orange shirt. Noah Upshaw to try and get the final 3 outs here for the sexy softball Stripers. The Astros down by 2, down to their final 3 outs. Leading off the inning, there was Drew Traylor, and making the play is Jared Gornto in right center field. 1 out. Near the bottom of the 7th inning, the final inning of play. Now the 11-hole hitter, Colton Bell-Snyder. Watch high for ball 2. It's a 2-1 count. That's going to be bounced back to the pitcher. The step over to first in time for Jacob Z for the 2nd out of the inning. And 1 out away are the sexy softball Stripers.
I know you're desperate if you're the kicking Astros, but you can't go back up there and get it back with 1 swing, at least with nobody on. You got to play smart right here. Get a man on base.
Top of the order here for Sam D'Antoni. D'Antoni will line it up the middle for a base hit and keeping the Astros alive here. And their final out. Down by 2, a home run ties it. Now for the lefty, Robbie Graham from Fort Payne, Alabama. Noah Upshaw, the senior from Fairhope, on the rubber looking to close things out. That's going to be a high fly ball to center field. Gornto under it. He'll make the play, and the sexy softball Stripers are the 2022 Intramural Independent Men's Softball Champions. It doesn't get much bigger than this if you're an athlete student here at Auburn University.
It doesn't get bigger.
It doesn't.
It does not get bigger. They're going to take home an intramural champ shirt, and they're going to be able to walk down the concourse tomorrow champ.
People will remember this for years to come. The sexy softball Stripers have come to play and defeat the kicking Astros 10-8. And that will do it here. The men's large fraternity championship will be coming up after this short break. Boom.
Oh, my God.